is funds coming into the state. So far, I will not dwell more on the.
Also, father, somebody took an oath to become a governor.
Yes. So
after 24 hours.
You have to give an account. Yes. Yes. Now you bear the name for, let's say, 11 months, almost 12 months. So it is not too late. So I'll look at practically what has happened between the change of narrative between the past government and the recent government. Before now, it is always a case of litigation for years, and sometimes it spans throughout the tenure, 3 years, 2 years, and all of that. But by the grace of God, it was just a matter of months. And more beautifully, the fact that he was able to so far brought a lot of people to the same table, people of different party line, people of different interests, and then we haven't heard anything so far from the former governor and the present governor, in terms of loggerhead. So, I mean, to me, that's a great way to start. Is an applause. If we must say, there are other ways, there are other areas we can appraise him and also give insight to the holes that have been punctured either by him or by his lieutenants.
All right. So, do you think that there is much difference in terms of style of governance? As a communication expert, it's just like when an anatomist when you visit an anatomist and he's looking at you. You know what he will be looking at you? He'll be looking at whether it will be easy
to open you, to dissect you.
No, it will be easy for something to enter through your veins, because sometimes it becomes a very little bit of a serious challenge.
You can also see through your score, your structure and what do you call the skeleton?
No,
let me use the.
I can assure you that there's something that is called veins. They have ears.
They hear.
Anytime they hear that
they'll be attacked.
Somebody is looking for them. They'll just disappear.
Okay, that's a good one.
Okay, because something happens to me during my youth service, so that I don't want to go to that. That's a story for another day. All right, so I want to tell you about, as a communication expert,
yes.
Anytime I'm listening to somebody, anytime I'm seeing somebody, I am looking at the way you talk to people, the way you communicate. So let me start from there to fire you, and you are also a communication expert. So eyeball to eyeball now, within the normal narrative of what used to be, how people were talking, how people were issuing press statements, how the governors were talking to people, how they used to talk to their opponents. Would you think that Governor Moana has changed?
Well, it's only should I say the blind that will not see, and a deaf that will not hear. The change in narrative which has been brought about by the new government, that's the government of Pastor Moino. Before now, you hardly seen a governor come around, where people are. What I mean common people, and then practically relating with them. You've seen some issues happening within our state where the governor had to go there. For instance, the lady that lost her life while going to fence for the family, the movie actor, he practically went there. He did not send someone. We also heard of someone that is not even in Akwa Ibom, but recites the fact that I'm talking about now the copper that came back and gave a salutation to the father who sacrificed everything. And then the governor had to look for that lady and then offer to build home. Besides, you also look at the people that are working with the government. You hardly see someone.
Have they changed?
Yes, to a great extent. You hardly see someone.
Because most of the aides are still the same people.
Yes.
The same people who were writing in the last government. The same people are still writing. Are they still writing?
They are writing, but you can see that there is a change in narrative. You hardly seen someone calling out names and then abusing, directly or indirectly, or directly attacking the opponents, calling names. You hardly seen that. Why? Because the person that they are working for, they are looking at his body language, the way he communicates, the way he relates. So they also do same. So to me, Governor Omono has really brought a whole lot of changes to the pattern of leadership, and to me is more of a people-centric government. Even though there are some lapses here and there, I mean, we are human beings. You can't say without that.
Okay, now let me get straight to our multifunctional practitioner, Otuekong. Okay, he said he prefers Akwarawa to Otuekong because he doesn't want to get old. Okay, Otuekong, just take away from Julius. Did you think that we are too early to appraise or to evaluate Governor Omono's performance? And what do you think really stands him out among all the governors since 1999?
Yeah, thank you very much for offering me this opportunity. Thank you for having chosen me to be here every Thursday since the inception of this program. I only wish that our little contributions will be noticed by the powers that be with a view to adjusting to suit us, so that at the end we have the Akwa Ibom of our dream.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It is not too early, not early in the first place, talk less of being too early. As an accountant, we give account every day. Assuming I pay salary or I receive allocation from the state where I was working under the state administration, and at the end of the day I cannot render account, that's at the end of that month I don't submit my account, I don't think I have done well. That is 1 month. So 1 month is not early. 2 months, 3 months, this is 11 months going 12. By 29th, in 3 weeks time, we would be counting the 1 year is already gone. So I don't think it is early or too early or too late. No. And the governor himself is self-accounting. He renders account at every point in time as he goes. In fact, at this point we are now, he can give a veritable account. The last time I listened to him talk, he reminded me of Senator Akpabio when he was the governor of this state, who can recite all the programs at a go. Whenever you give him an opportunity, he will tell you the programs, the roads he has created, the road he has built, the structures, the hospitals and all that. This is how it should be. So the governor himself gives account every day, and that also helps us, because as he does that, we also record at the end of that 1 year proper. We conglomerate the account, we joint the account, and that becomes an annual account of what he has done in various sectors. Like my brother Julius mentioned, I was rather sad that what they call the crawling Jones. That guy who moves on his knees was being feted by His Excellency the Governor. This is the downtrodden person who never had any hope, but today he has hope. The government of Akwa Ibom today has drastically drifted. This is a new narrative we are seeing.
So are we moving towards the Akwa Ibom of our dream?
Good.
If you say so.
Steadily, we are moving. We are not there yet. At any moment now, we could nod our head and say, this is Akwa Ibom of our dream.
We'll still spend time to ask you about some of the things you don't like about, because Governor Omono, it's not a sense, and
No, it's not.
So we'll try to find out some of the
Yes.
things that has not been done well and could be done better. Some of them, sometimes the governor does not even know
Yes.
about. Okay,
Yeah.
I'd like to remind us of some of the major features that heralded Governor Omono's administration as he came. I'm not talking about the rhetorics, I'm a scholar of communication, so I like semiotics and semantics. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about actions now, because actions actually speak louder than words.
Yeah, sure.
Governor Omono, upon assumption of office, loved stopping at major junctions. And when he stopped at those junctions, starting from the junction between his local government area and Eket, I don't know how that place is called, at the 18 and Eket Road, he will stop there and he will empower women that are selling, doing petty trading on these junctions. You know, what bothers me about those activities was that some of these women are actually those taking care of the family. They're actually feeding their husbands and even taking care of their children. And for me, as a person, it was a very touching moment for me. He did that also at some other junctions. He did that at the airport junctions. He did that at some other junctions across the state. Now, the governor, upon an assumption also, took a different dimension, and he was calling everyone together. As we speak in this state, it will be very difficult to know who is an APC member and who is a PDP member. The state seems to be running as a party-less state. In quote, let me use that. You know, I'm using that term cautiously.
Inclusivity.
Okay.
Inclusivity
Okay.
personified.
So now you can now say that the PDP people can now go to a hotel that is owned by an APC member.
yes.
Formerly, it used to be like
you don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't go area.
announce your resignation in advance.
Anti-party activity.
So the governor has done that, and even all his aides and his staff are adjusting to the new paradigm. And I want to also say that, you know, when the Senate president was elected, he was among the first to be there to congratulate him. What a wonderful
gesture.
gesture at the beginning of his government. One of the things that also interests me about this government is that when the governor started, he met with all Akwa Ibom federal civil servants, from assistant director to the deputy director to permanent secretaries, everyone in Abuja. And Akwa Ibom has its own fair share of this population. The governor was able to meet with these people. I'm not talking about the budget now. I'm just talking about gestures, because in communication we have what is called non-verbal communication or non-verbal cues. Some of them speak even louder than words. Words can even sometimes be misinterpreted, but non-verbal communication sometimes will communicate even faster. So I'd like to get back to Julius now, because in 5 minutes today is far more of the callers to also tell us their mind. In case what we are talking about here is nonsense, they can tell us that you guys are talking nonsense. This is what they are saying is not correct. This is our own version, because this is we have democratized the media, so you can also have your say. Okay, so Julius, the three major highlights I've made now, because we are not looking at the sectoral development now. We are going to come to that maybe in the next program, because we have about 3 or 4 programs to do that. So what is your take about these gestures that has brought Akwa Ibom to a stable of unity?
Practically, I would say that these gestures are the game changer, in the sense that you've seen a man coming from a different background, I mean from a different angle, to tackle the issues on ground.
Do you think the government is pretending?
I'm getting to that. Now let's go to the background of his emergence. When we first heard about the decision that the party adopted him, the whole state, there was so much rumbling and all of that. People said a whole lot of things. They were he was stiffly opposed, even within his party line and even within his people. But as time goes on, we see the narrative change, and I believe this also contributed to the person he is. He needed to also, prove some people wrong, including people that at the last count, turned up to him to be, one of his key players. So, what you've seen is, a deliberate action to changing narrative. I mean, the man would have just sat back to say, okay, after all, I wasn't welcome at the first time, and moreover, I have a godfather, I have the party supporting me, I have the resource of the state at hand, at my beck and call. No, but he chose to be a different person. I believe from the point of that resistance, and of course that talking about whether he is pretending, very well that the activities of the opposition also contributed to who he is. Because if you sit back, if the state was just a freelance, that like it was in past administration, where they weren't so strong, especially the immediate past, they weren't so strong opposition, you see a whole lot of things went, you could see people crying, making noise and all of that, and it's as if no one cares to listen or to hear. But here he sat up to say, look, we have to work, at least, if not for anything, to prove the people wrong. And of course, why did he take the oath of office? Why did he come to be the governor? He wasn't sent. He came by himself, even though he had support from the previous governor. He had support. He came to serve.
And he was already holding the office of the governor somewhere.
Yes.
In the hotel,
In his own hotel, he had already called,
royalty.
he had already called himself the governor.
Yeah,
He had been a long
time. Somehow
because
you
we
see
were
the
waiting
hand,
for fulfillment.
somehow you also see the hand of God in this.
Yes.
Because a man that had that nature, that level of resistance, coming back to becoming a different person, I mean, it could only be God. In fact, the last count of the day, everybody was like, no, it did not happen, But what I'm saying is that what he did, all the visitation, the gesture he did, the non-verbal cues, was or are intentional. Why? Because he wants to prove a point. And my fear and concern will be that let it not be a one-time gesture, like you just let me do this for the first tenure and then the second tenure, and now use it for myself.
There's a question I want to ask you, but I'll keep that, and I want to take the opinion, the perspective of Akparawa Afiong to the question I also asked you. Now you heard the things I told you, the flagship, the first things that he did when he came. We're not looking at education, we're not looking at health yet, we're not looking at all those things, but we're looking at perhaps those non-verbal gestures, the things that he was doing that has laid the foundation of his government. Did you think that the governor is different, and do you think he means business?
Of course, he's a businessman. He means business. So I was shocked to my morals when we're talking about non-verbal verbal cues. I had a funeral to attend of a colleague somewhere in Orokonam, and I discovered there was a village that were communities that were disconnected because of the bad road then, and that work was, as at that time in February, almost completed with several connecting bridges. Nobody heard about it. Nobody heard about it until I came back and had to write about that road being constructed by the state government. Quietly, he's doing. If you go to several places, the project he's doing, it doesn't make a hell of noise. I don't think he's pretending. If he had been pretending, there would be some skips. Sometimes we will forget.
Okay, just before we go on this break, because we would like to get our listeners to participate early, I'd like to ask you, Parawa, do you think that those working with him are very happy in the change of paradigm in terms of
because many of them who are, if they are the old ones that were working with,
many of the old ones are still
there.
Do you think
they may not be happy because there is a change? I tell you, when I was appointed head of local government service, I went to my station and I saw that the old hands, my predecessors had given them the leeway. They were I told them no.
But you may be wrong, because they are cooperating.
Cooperating with
They are cooperating with the governor. They are aligning to instructions for those who used to write.
Grudgingly, many of them, sir. I can tell it. Forget it.
There is no evidence to show that.
You may not have evidence, but I will tell you, those who were used to going to work late, those who were used to doing things in and out. Okay, recently, the same Lamb of God became a Lion of Judah. I think he sacked one of his aides. Do you think they will sack him? The governor will sack his aide when he's happy with what he has done? No, because maybe he was doing their former lines that they had been doing. That's the way they used it. Normally they have been doing that way. No. The governor says, no, this is my tenure. This is the way I want it done. And things must be done the way I want it done. no delays in the disbursement of funds. Practically will find out, has this been done? And definitely if it is not done, some hate have been rolling quietly. We are talking about non-favorable queues. Some may not even come to the line out of the media, so that we will not talk about them. So a whole lot of them, except those who were, you were loyal to your governor, the other governor, and this one comes, you adjust to suit. But naturally, those who resist are still there. They are still resistance. But then the governor says, no, this is my turn, and this is where I want things done, and they have to be done the way I want it.
Okay, so we are just tuning in. This is Memories 96.5 FM, and the program is Akwa Ibom of Our Dream. We're starting a series on your perception of Governor Umar Bassey Eno. 20 days to his 1 year anniversary as governor of Akwa Ibom State. We'll go on a break, and when we return, we will turn this microphone to you. This particular series is particularly for you. We'd like to find out whether we are actually doing what we are supposed to do, whether the governor is going to the right way, is going to the left way. What can be done to ensure that Akwa Ibom moves to his dream land? Good afternoon. Of Fame, and the program is Akwa Ibom of Our Dream. My name remains Chris Okun, and we are discussing Governor Moeno performance in almost 1 year, 20 days to 1 year as governor. We are trying to interrogate his performance in office, and we are starting from the very things that will be considered irrelevant, and we will begin to enter the relevant ones gradually. And so the numbers that you can join us to also share your thought with us. Perhaps our guests may be wrong. Nobody is a saint. Nobody is an angel. Sometimes we do mistakes. So you can also let us know your view. So 0803 085 7755. Again, 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. Again, okay, we have a caller on the line already. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Please, your name and where you are calling from.
Thank you. This is Omar from Sunny.
Thank you, please. Your contribution.
I want to make saying we are moving to a platform of our dream in this administration. I wouldn't mind what other people may have in mind, but I'm going to share my own view.
Okay.
Which I've seen the government going to rural area as the government passage. Doesn't mind getting the government or not down to the Canadian road to some construction. And that contract was being awarded by past administration. Me, in myself as a person, I was thinking that it's going to be illegal during, and that job will be abandoned and they will be not continuing. But that has been done by this administration. And apart from that, I think I will also take the government to monitor every project they have given. Because right now, what is happening down that road, because it comes down to the Canadian road, the construction has ceased. They were working. I was spreading them on media. Now that it's working, I also talk that they know if authority knows when they should work towards that. Then I don't want also to tell the other government to please each of the local government, we have enough land. Let them include the local government chairman. They should have a large farm. Even though we can call it
okay. You can wrap up now. Somebody's waiting by for you.
It reduce the suffering of food crisis in Akwa Ibom State. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thank you very much. The caller is actually confirming that he thought the government is going to be lying about the construction that he took over from the former government. We have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM. Your name and where you're calling from. Good afternoon, please. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Rob calling from you.
Thank you, please. Welcome.
Please, I want to ask you a question. What happened to Ikorokpa Road that in the past administration? Up till now, that road is not motorable.
Repeat the road. Can you repeat the road?
About that road. What happened to that road?
Ikorokpa.
Road.
Okay. All right. So, well, actually, since we are not interrogating officials of government, but we are happy to get that feedback from you, we will be able to forward them to the relevant authorities. We are excited to have you call into the program. Good afternoon. God bless you. All right. Okay, Akparawa, while we're waiting for others, you're already starting to hear the calls. Some people are already calling to appreciate the governor for that they did not believe that the governor will continue the project of a particular road, but to their surprise, that road was fixed. He also had a word of caution for the governor that he should be mindful of perhaps those who are monitoring the road to ensure that those roads are done to specification. He also had some other information to the governor, and some other persons. I know that we're going to have a lot of issues about roads because Akwa Ibom is a big construction site. At the end of the day, I think we are still doing well as far as road is concerned. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM. Your name and where you're calling from?
To the analyst in the studio. My name is Young Jane from Uyo.
Thank you. Welcome.
Alright, I really enjoy what's happening there right there in the studio and the discussion. And for the governor, I really want to appreciate the governor for who he is, and what we understand personally is that what you have to do with politics is during election, and after the election comes governance. So governance is the involvement of everyone, not minding the political party. And the governor actually, what he has done, he has actually showcased that to the Akwa people. For the first time in Akwa State, we have after the election, new government comes in without so much tension in the state. Because in the past, we've seen something that by this time we could be hearing different posts, different social media posts, different newspaper headlines, carrying different stories. But the governor at this point, for the first time in Akwa Ibom, if I could say personally, is what I've witnessed that there's so much calm in the state, and peace that is actually we are enjoying right now in the state is something to really commend. And it's just 3 days to 1 year in office. I really want to commend the governor for what he has done so far. But I want to say something. He shouldn't listen to side talks. I think the governor should focus in whatever he has in mind to do for Akwa people and the industrialization in the state. Some people really need this. I think most attention should be paid to the seaport that is situated in Ibaka, and that should come to fruitfulness. And I think the governor as well should pay attention to what is the vision of the previous governor, past governor, in personal Governor Victor Anda, Ibom Science Park.
Okay.
That project should be paid attention to.
Okay, so you are talking about the revitalization of the Ibom Science Park, and you are also saying that the vision of having a deep sea port should also be actualized. I think those two projects actually are the cornerstone for the industrialization of Akwa Ibom.
Definitely. I believe this, if we can achieve these two projects, I mean, we have Akwa people, Akwa some other who are actually looking for greener pastures in other states, but they're going to come back home to see how they can find themselves better life in Akwa State. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So, starting from there, Julius, you heard the caller talking about some of the very important projects that people are asking the government to and the governor to prioritize. And one of them is the Boom Science Park project. I mean, everybody was looking forward to that particular project. Mobam Victor Atta sent people to the Asian, one of these Asian tigers country to
be trained.
And some of those guys are not even black. They have created science park for themselves wherever they are. You know, it's not a bad thing, but the project is very important.
Yes.
It's a multi-million-dollar earning project income for
generating
for
facility.
especially the young people.
Yes.
You know, we are talking about the cyberspace now.
Yes.
Almost an average child, even the way he plays with the phone as soon as he or she is born, you know that the age has totally changed, and that would have been a game changer in terms of income. All right, Julius, you've heard what the last caller said also. What is your take on it?
So this is exactly why I said there has been a change of narrative. Now, imagine that. Excuse me. Imagine that the former governor, one-time governor, His Excellency, the current Senate President, Dr. Godswill Akpabio, was able to carry out the vision of Atta. We would have had the science park running and, you know, working functionally today. But you see what the governor is doing, the Governor Moino is doing. Almost all the project that the previous administration started, he inherited. Is making effort to completing it. For instance, the Nuatai Okobo Road, Oron Road, you know, that road has been there since the time of
It was the first project that was signed by the former government, immediate past government.
Immediate past government.
15 billion naira given cash
now
to a construction company.
Look at it.
And the thing
8 years gone in the previous administration.
And
now he just
one
came
of the
in.
most commercial
viable
roads in
Akwa Ibom
if not
state.
the most.
In fact, the most, if I would say so myself. Now, what he did was to reject that contract immediately and ask for, you know, a change, a review of what is going on there. Now, that is what we are looking at.
The problem is that it's not the review that is the problem, but it's the next contractor that will be awarded. So that we'll not be jumping from fry pan to fire. When we move from Renaissance, we move to aquatic. And we move from aquatic, we move to whatever it was called, DPL.
DPL.
You know, 3 contractors on one road, and all the money is given. I mean, for God's sake. So it's not about reviewing the contract, but the contractor
is a good step to take, because you cannot work with someone that has been, you know, a project that has been for the magnitude of that year, the number of years, and then there hasn't been, you know, something tangible to show for it. So the best thing is to terminate the contract and review and then re-award it, which we are looking forward to.
And give a matching order. So
for what he has done is a good thing. So what the caller also mentioned, Ibom's deep seaport, the Baka deep seaport, or Ibom deep seaport. What we are interested in, that let it start, let it commence. And of course, we've heard that the federal government had given the go ahead on that project, and of course we also know that there are other bottlenecks. The past governments did not really do enough in that aspect, because we now get to know that they have to change the name, which to me it wasn't relevant. The first thing that ought to have done was to ensure that the road is constructed to the site, because you cannot start a project of that magnitude without the road in the first instance. The access
and that road we're talking about now.
That's the road we're talking about.
And that's the road we're talking about.
Yes.
So for you to stay for 8 good years, and then there hasn't been a constructive, you know, review, analysis, and maybe rejigging of what is going on, and then giving a matching order. I mean, it doesn't take any government anything to execute a project if they so have the willpower, the political willpower to do that. It does not. It just take their of course their willpower, their political willpower to do that.
Okay,
but
Julius.
in the case where they fail to do that, it becomes unintentional, not to do that.
Okay.
Or intentional not to do that.
For our listeners who are willing to call in to make their own contribution, that is your perception on Governor Umoino, almost 1 year in office. We are doing a pre-anniversary series. We will continue this and we'll begin to take sector by sector so that everyone will understand. And if we have the privilege of having people who are in government to come here, we'd like them to also come and tell us, why we also have our in-house analysts to review what they're saying, whether they're lying or what they're saying the truth. So if you want to call, you can call 0803 085 7755. Again, 0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. Again, 0809 066 6909. Ofoko ipu ita ipu ita ipu ita itune itiaba itune. Ofoko ipu ita ipu usuke ipu itioke itioke usuke. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM. Your name and where you're calling from. Oh, we have lost that call. Okay, another caller has joined us. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Doctor. Good afternoon, analyst. Once again, it's Young from you.
Okay.
All right. I sincerely want to appreciate the analyst. I think Julius, who just spoke about the Fidetai Okobo Oron road. That project has been in a big time dilemma and in a dismay for a very long time. But I sincerely want to appreciate the governor for reappointing that particular project to a new construction company to do that. And I believe in due time that will be done. But please, I want to beseech the governor as well. There are some other projects who were on ground that attention wasn't really, or probably they didn't complete the project, and however it is, it was just haphazardly done. The Igom Tropicana, that venue, that place attention should be given to that particular center, because a lot of things that were supposed to be done in that place were not completed. And if you look at the place today, people living at Afara, getting that route area is not well secured because of how the place is, because a lot of things, some of the I think equipment that were there were actually vandalized and all of that. And Stadium Road, I think how they call it, this Stadium Road that has to be Akwa International Stadium, the road, there is no light in that road. And the previous government paid less attention to...
Okay, Young Zain, I think we are going to wrap it off because we have a caller, but I think we actually get your point. The point about it's a very interesting feedback that we are gathering from you about those particular contracts. I mean the Tropicana environment, and you're also talking about the Stadium Road lights, and I think we gather this as a feedback. And going forward, when we have government official on sets with us, we will also make them to answer some of this program and some of this question for us. Okay, we have another call on the line. Good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM. Your name?
Thank you, sir. Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Nebeno. It is a content.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate this of you for coming out in the studio to bring out the good thing about Apadia Governor Pastor Minor doing the state.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I know the work. I try to only work. I try to commend him so much for all the things they've done for us in the state and beyond. And I want to think about the road construction that was supposed to handle by Atari, that improved even the entire, I think I'm going to know. In the south, but I didn't take the economic down. That's what also today, people that are too. Somebody, and that was very bad. And there's so many houses down that street, and that is linked to Lumbu Town. Thank you. We're going on.
Okay.
All the time.
So,
I
so,
was not done. So I approached the government please to go and help us. That's my feelings. And that's where I come from. I thought to
all right. I think we have taken.
Please, I need him to go and do something about that.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I think we have taken that point, and another caller just came in. Today was the callers. Can we call it the callers' day?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, welcome to Memories 96.5 FM. Good afternoon, please. Who is calling and where are you calling us from?
This is from a
Thank you. All the way from Esenri, we are excited to have you.
Yes, thank you, sir. I really appreciate your program.
Thank you.
Then I really appreciate the governor for what he has done so far on his 1 year anniversary. Then, please, I want to tell the governor and tell the governor, please, to check about the NDDC book that was constructed especially here, and we have one of it. So that
we are trying to hear you.
Hello.
Hello, please, can you come back? We are trying to hear you.
The name of that road.
The name of that road. I'm sorry, we cannot understand what you're saying. I think we need to call back again. I quickly appreciate your call because that's the reason that we are here. We have another caller of the line. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. It's a pleasure to hear you. Your name and where you're calling from?
Okay, I'm Brother Mofat. I'm calling from Uke in Cross River State. I'm from Second Local.
All the way from Ugep is interesting. Welcome.
Yes, sir. In fact, I want to give our governor a kudos. He's a proactive man.
Thank you.
But
Then the governor should hear this one.
That was abandoned since the regime of urban development. At the era of Peter. I saw that project almost completed.
That's
So I
interesting.
thank God for our governor and also the reconstruction of Literatai Okobo Road. It's a hard cry that we were crying day in, day out. For having heard that he has re-awarded that contract, I give him kudos.
You know, I think I should be in the list of those thanking the governor because that road has seen me. I've also seen that road.
Me too.
Okay, because there was a time you were applying that road.
Yes, every day Tumbo and Orefo.
In fact, I lost all my axles on that road.
Honestly.
In fact, I think I should be compensated.
I thank the Excellency.
So those three companies that did not construct the road, they should wait for me.
Honestly, if I catch them.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Today is the caller's day. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Memories 96.5 FM. Okay. Now, please, can you speak louder so that we can clearly understand you?
Hello, sir.
I'm hearing you. We are hearing you. Please, can you proceed?
It was even talking about the NDDC.
Are you talking about the NDDC road?
That was constructed 8 years ago.
Okay.
Then from the Rico to the ocean to Rhino Road. Then that would have been
Orion Road.
And the records.
No, from the Rico to
From Odorico.
To Ryan. I see that.
Okay. If the road was constructed by NDDC, I think the best agency to
Go back to
take care of it is the NDDC. We are discussing
Akwa
Ibom of our dream through the governor today. I think there will be a time that we are going to invite NDDC also to the program so that they can also listen to Akwa Ibom people on the projects across the entire state. On that day, you will have the opportunity to call. All right, I think we are out of time. I'm so sorry to our dear callers who would have loved to call. I'm saying that that's why I said that the program is a series. Everyone is interested to know something about this governor who has been able to do, in my opinion, so much. But there are a few things that may not actually sometimes be correct. Maybe in the future, the program will highlight. And a lot of persons in Akwa Ibom are particularly very excited about the fact that the governor has been able to, within 1 year, pay gratuities over 18.1 billion naira. Very interesting. In 1 year. Very interesting. Where is the money coming from? So many people will ask the question. All right? Maybe in the next program, we will ask that question. So, Julius, just 30 seconds. What is your last word on this program today?
Well, I would say that the governor has done.
You are really smiling. The governor should look at this smile, so that on the 29th he will know
Yes,
those he's supposed to cut the cake to.
On behalf of the Akwa Ibom people, I smile because I know that the governor has done. If not for anything, the fact that Akwa Ibom has been relatively peaceful, and he's a deliberate attempt to reconcile the former governor.
And the governor has said that it's not that there will be no election. No. You know, election will still come.
Definitely.
But now we are in governance.
Yes.
Until that time, let governance continue.
So the approach he's taking, he has dropped politics and then he's into governance. So he has really done well. So I call.
Some people may see that as a sign of weakness. We'll discuss that next time.
I call for a great support for our governor to do more.
All right, Parawa of Young too. Your last word.
My last word is that to whom much is given, much is also expected. The governor is starting well. Let him maintain that decorum. Let him maintain the momentum and carry on.
And the Bible says it's not the beginning, but
That
the end.
matters.
That's my own last word.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you, Akwa Ibom people. Thank you, our listeners around the world. My name is Chris Sokoni. It has been a beautiful Thursday. Till next week, Thursday. See you then. God bless Akwa Ibom State.
This